What is going on, everybody? It is me again. It's HorrorFan34, and welcome to another video. And welcome to another review for the Christmas Movie Challenge. Now we are going into another horror film of this challenge. Now, I hope you guys have been enjoying my reviews for Christmas so far. Want to thank Julie, Let's Talk About Movies Cassidy, for coming up with this idea to do this marathon of reviews for Christmas. It's been a lot of fun. Been reviewing a lot of really good ones for Christmas, whether it be Scrooged or Home Alone 1 and 2, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Parts 1 and 2, and Christmas Evil, and the original Black Christmas, and hence getting to this actual video. Speaking of the original Black Christmas, I do have the film on DVD, but it was kind of a pain in the ass to get out, so I figured I'd just talk about it for you guys without even holding anything up for this. But it's going to be on the remake of Black Christmas, not the piece of shit one that came out this most recently. This is the one from 2006. Now, this is directed by Glenn Morgan. This is the same guy that worked on Final Destination 1 and 3. And I know he was an actor in Trick or Treat from 1986. And Glenn Morgan also did Willard with Crispin Glover, which is a great one. I love Willard. Then you get on to Black Christmas. Now, this is a remake that really gets a ton of shit from people, a lot of hate. I'm not one of those people that hates this film. I actually think it's a pretty decent, good remake, in my opinion. Now, is it as good as the original Black Christmas from the 70s? No. Nothing can ever top the original classic by Bob Clark. But as a fun, entertaining, gory slasher, it was entertaining to watch. Now, it follows basically the same story as the original film, where you still have the character of Billy, who's killing off these sorority sisters in this sorority house, and they're getting picked off one by one, just like the original film. So basically, it is the same kind of story that you get from the original film. But when I was talking about the original Black Christmas, I was actually kind of doing... I kind of briefly talked about a little bit of the differences that they had in the remake. Now, in the original film, you get no backstory about Billy, because that's kind of more hidden in a way in the background. It's not really talked about really at all. While in this one, they really do go full-fledged into the background of Billy, like his childhood and things like that. And I tell you what, this is some pretty fucked up shit that this guy went through in his childhood. I mean, well, first off, Billy was born with like a really rare disease that made his skin yellow, so that's going on. I think his mother had sex with him or something like. Yeah, I think that's correct. His mother had like sex with him, and impregnated him, or she got pregnant from him, and they had a baby together, Agnes, but that's really his sister. So it's some pretty fucked up shit that this guy went through. He'd be like locked in the attic, and you see all this, by the way. You see the mom having sex with him and having the baby and things like that, and then basically, as many years later, and Billy, sorry, excuse me. It's many years later, Billy is all grown up now, and basically goes crazy one day, and this is probably get the grossest part of the movie. First, he hits his mom over the head with a rolling pin and knocks her out unconscious and kills her. And then, yeah, this is the gross part. So if you're squeamish, I probably recommend like holding your ears or, shutting this video off right now. But if you're not, if this stuff doesn't bother you, then I'm gonna get into it. What happens here? He takes his mother's own flesh, and he takes these cookie cutter things that you like make cookies at like the shapes out of cookies and like the dough, and you bake them. So he takes like these cookie cutter things and like jams it into his mother's skin, into her flesh, and bakes them in the oven and eats them as their cookies. And see like the close up of his mouth, you see blood on his teeth and things like that. And that's when the cops come and they find him and they take him away. and they lock him in the mental asylum. One thing leads to another, then Billy escapes, and he stabs actually a security guard in the eye with a candy cane. And then that's when you get to the sorority sisters being picked off one by one by this guy. And actually, he's also and has an accomplice with him, Agnes, his sister. Now, the cast of the girls that you have Katie Cassidy, who was on, I think, the TV show Arrow. You also have Michelle Trachtenberg, who was in Eurotrip and a lot of other stuff as well. Mary Elizabeth Winstead from Final Destination 3, Live Free or Die Hard. She was John McClane's daughter. She was also in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. She was in Birds of Prey. She was in that recently. She's been in a lot of stuff. There are some of the sorority sisters, and I know one of the actresses from the original film is actually in this as well, but I cannot remember her role at the moment, but I know she does have a role in this. And, you know, like I said, this is just a one of those slashers where it's just entertaining, it's fun, it's gory, you have, like, eyeballs getting squeezed, and there's a moment where Agnes is, like, eating one of the eyeballs of the girls, and it, like, squirts blood everywhere. I mean, the whole finale is when Katie Cassidy is in the hospital, and Billy tracks her down, and she throws Billy off the staircase, and he gets impaled on a Christmas tree. So, you get what I'm saying. It's really over the top. Excuse me for the cough, and I need a drink after I do this video. But, so, like I'm saying, it's over-the-top gore, you know, getting impaled on Christmas trees, and getting cookie cutters in your flesh, and you have also a candy cane getting put in the eye, you have an ice skate to the head, you have plastic bags being put over people's heads, and things like that. Like, I mean, it's just entertaining, fun gore. I think the female cast does a very solid job, but you know, you still can't top that original cast. You know, Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder. You just cannot top the original girls from the original film. But I think these girls did a solid job. You know, Katie Cassidy, Michelle Trachtenberg, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and and Lacey Chabert from Mean Girls. She's one of the sorority sisters as well. I almost forgot about that. But it's one of those remakes. I know it gets trashed a lot, but if you just look at this film as just a fun, entertaining, just gory slasher film, I think you would have some dumb fun with it. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So that's pretty much it for my review for Black Christmas, the remake from 2006. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.